everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Van Salem.
Cody, welcome back. I know. Um, I wanted to get your thoughts on Senior Day. Because as we know that it was Joshua Jefferson and Tamin Lipsey's close to a chapter. It's also a close to a chapter for you as well in Cyclone Alley.
For sure. I mean, this was like my last game as a student. I kind of made it out. I put it on Twitter on Saturday, just kind of the thoughts. But like for me, this was a great 4 years I've had. Like I had probably some of the best like years I've had in my time while at Iowa State, going to basketball and just kind of doing my part to really make our Cyclone Alley one of the best student sections in the country, and overall, yeah. Sorry about that, but yeah, but I
Mhm.
mean, I did so much, like, and I feel like a lot is done. So I've hopefully laid out the footwork for what is to be expected of Cyclone Alley, and hopefully some people can pick up that legacy. But overall, this was a great 4 years for me. I had a lot of fun, and I if I could do it all over again, I would do it again. And I mean, we talk about senior days. This one wasn't about me, but I mean, we talk about Josh Jefferson, Nate Heisey, but especially Tamin Lipsey. The Tamin Lipsey thing really hit hard because he was born and bred in the city and got to play out his 4 years here at Iowa State. He was one of the few guys that didn't transfer out in this like world of NIL, so that was really great to see.
And I don't know if you saw Cody, but one of the names to give him a congratulations video was Nebraska's Fred Hoiberg, who sent him a senior day video, which was very touching. Since both of those two are from Ames, so they both share that. So the fact that a head coach, the mayor, sending him a video, which was very telling.
For sure. And then I mean, I think at this point you have might have to consider Taman Lipsey the governor since we got Mayor Fred Hoiberg. I think I have to call Taman Lipsey the governor because I mean he basically defined what Iowa State basketball is under TJ Altenberger. Like all 4 years, it's like he's been at front and center of what like you expect to see. So I think Taman Lipsey is the prototypical player you want out of a guy under TJ.
No, definitely. I will say, it definitely was a tale of two halves. I shoot, I'll say it, Cody. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the first half, I was wondering. I'm like, man, is this team broken? Everybody that probably saw my tweet in the first half, everybody was crashing on the first half. I was just like, man, I was like, we're gonna really see this team lose at home to an Arizona State team. A lot of a lot of tough questions need to be asked, and then back in the second half, they were down 45-44, and that's when the run started. A 24 to nothing run at that, and that was all started and by the governor.
Yeah, I think that like last stretch, that like last like 4 minutes or so of Iowa State. Like for Iowa State, that was about as bad as you could get. Just sloppy turnovers, not getting defensive stops. About everything that kind of went wrong for Iowa State during their skid, like during the skid they had, like it happened in the like last few minutes, and I mean heading even to a little bit of the second half. Arizona State, you mentioned the run. I mean, it was a 45-41 deficit, but then yeah, Iowa State, and I said this too. This is where Iowa State need to get to do to win is get back to what got you to the dance, like what got you to that success, and that was creating turnovers, getting out in transition, and whatnot, and just they got back to what made us so successful. I think that's just what I wanted to see out of this team is like, can they get back to what made them really successful? And in the second half, they did, and then they put the clamps on Arizona State. I mean, they held them to what 10 minutes without a field goal
Yeah,
at
so
some
ten and
point.
a half
So
minutes. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, you got like shared scoring all around, all across the board. Um, Taman Lipsey, Joshua Jefferson, Milan Momcilovic, Bateman, Dominic Splata, I believe, or Blake Buchanan. I believe we had five guys get into double digit scoring, and we were very close to having six.
Yes. So we had I'll give you the whole all the numbers. So we had Blake Buchanan in with 22 minutes, 8 points, 4 rebounds. Joshua Jefferson 16 and 7. Milan Momcilovic 16 and 3. Tamin Lipsey 16 and 2. Dominicus played at 11-5, and then Jamarian Bateman 13-3.
Yeah, I mean that's what you like to see out of Iowa State is like that balanced scoring because that really helps. And then yeah, you got threes made by Lipsey and Bateman, which again helps Milan get his spacing and get his shots going. But
Yeah,
I mean, we talked about Milan. He ended the regular season at an exact 50%, 114 for 228.
no, man, it's amazing to see how he like shot at the end of the year, and let's take a little bit X's and O's. I think one interesting thing that we're seeing is that Iowa State is definitely playing a two-man game with Joshua Jefferson and Milan Momcilovic, which definitely could help in like a type of half court type of offensive set to where there he's going to be able to find a lot more open looks, or Joshua Jefferson will be able to go to the basket, especially when you play against bigger teams. Let's say if this team makes possibly makes a Sweet 16 run.
Yeah, I think that's something I actually asked for. And I think some people were asking is when we're going to get more of that two-man game between Joshua Jefferson and Milan Momcilovic. Says, yeah, I mean, those are two of your best players. So why not have them be a duo and complement each other? So I'd love to see that. And also, I think Blake Buchanan showed like he got a little more spacing and he wasn't afraid. Like he wasn't hesitating. I mean, he was like when he got the ball, he slams it home. He dunks it home. That's what every big 7-footer should be doing instead of these soft layups. Like you should be dunking the basketball. That's been a pet peeve I've had for a while.
And how about let's talk about Dominicus played at 11-5, and you see how he was running to the basket. It was so fluid. Obviously you see like the Euro steps. So like with him being a guy that you can count on off the bench, you see him ascending at the right time. Obviously, Jamarian Bateman, I think as we talked about that two-man game, I think now what you're gonna see is you're definitely gonna see we're getting to the point to where you can't keep him off the floor at all. Like it's getting to where like man, you have to keep him on the floor. Like he is a guy where who can get steals, play D like basically a 3 and D type of guy. Go on there, get cause some defensive pressure, as well as a guy that you can count on to get a basket.
Yeah, I think that's something I think a lot of people were talking about too. Was the whole like debate between do you start Jameer Bateman, do you like and put Torrey in the bench, or do you keep it the way it is? I think you still like have Torrey start, but you do give Bateman a lot more run because I think that's where like obviously your best is when Jameer Bateman's on the floor with Jefferson, Momcilovic, play. I think played and I think I would say Lipsey, or I think that was like my ideal five. Who I would want on the floor
Mm-hmm.
is that because I mean Dominguez Plata, he does such a great job. He's efficient enough to where he can allow Blake Buchanan to stay like fresh, and that's when we see the best of Blake Buchanan is when he is fresh. And I mean, we mentioned Milo Malchovic's 3-point shooting. Who had Blake Buchanan shooting a three in this game on their bingo card?
That's insane. And the fact is that it almost went in. We talked about it in the post game spaces that we had. I mean, the fact that he had that type of touch.
Yeah, I think honestly that can also help out too. If Blake Buchanan can like, nail a couple threes, or even put him up, that can space the floor a lot because that's one thing teams have been doing that really were successful against Iowa State was they were basically sagging off Vittori and Buchanan because they always knew that they were going to be a non-threat out in the perimeter. So who knows? Maybe Blake Buchanan puts up a three or two and makes him known that has the ability to shoot it and it not being an air ball. I think that could open up the floor a little more for Jefferson and Momcilovic to work.
And part of me wonders, I mean, do you even uh, man, I've lost my train of thought. uh, we'll get back to it if I do if I remember.
Yeah, was it like you give him some run off like the perimeter? If you like, your teacher like, hey, if it's wide open, just take it. Like like it's on film now. What's the worst that's gonna
Yes.
happen?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I found it. So, yeah. Part of me wonders if they're just gonna start having him drive to the basket. Like I feel like because you saw that like he had some confidence back when he got that steal. He had a pick six that had that pick six, and he was able to just drive to the basket. I think that could be a valuable part. Let's say because obviously you're not going to take him off the floor like as like so because his defense is elite. So I just think he'll just be a drive, a guy that he can have drive to the basket. And I still think that that's a valuable thing for him. At least being able for him being able to score, maybe get his confidence back because his shot's not there right now.
Yeah, I mean those drives to the baskets, the backdoor cuts are going to be really helpful, especially for Jefferson when he knows he's going to get double or triple team. Just get a guy to just run a back cut and that you're going to have a wide open layup, or if he's able to outlet it quick enough, that's going to be an open shot, like how teams beat Iowa State, finding that extra pass and getting that open look. Maybe Iowa State can find a way to be able to implement that.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So outside of that, I mean, okay, we were talking about this too. In that second half, Joshua Jefferson goes for a dunk, Abdul Nader esque, and he gets fouled, but he doesn't like make it. But I generally said this. There were two times where I would have thought if that was a successful play, it would have blown the roof off of Hilton Coliseum. Blake Buchanan shooting a three and making a three, or the Joshua Jefferson Abdul Nader dunk.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I would if he would have pulled that off, I would have lost my mind. Like I was going to lose it at home. I'm like, are you serious?
I mean, yeah, he cocked it back and he was ready to he was ready to just slam it home. Yeah, we mentioned Nader. Nader was definitely smiling. We all thought that instantly in the building. As soon as he pulled that off, you were like, "Oh my god!" He was trying to do the Abdul Nader dunk, and I know all over Twitter. But I mean, yeah, I think this was just a fun, fun second half and fun game overall. Uh, you want to know who it wasn't fun for?
Bobby Hurley.
Mr. Bobby Hurley. Well, in case you guys didn't know, I just saw this before we started recording. I just saw a tweet. I think it's from On3, and it said that Arizona State is expected to part ways with Bobby Hurley at the end of the year. Confirmed by Pete Nakos of On3.
Yeah. So Arizona State is now in the search of finding their next head coach. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you saw. Um. Let's look at some of the scores yesterday. From just or not yesterday, but from this
Saturday and
past
whatnot.
weekend of the Big
Yeah.
12. Yeah.
Yeah. While you get that up, I mean, we talk about Bobby Hurley. That Saturday was a pretty bad day for the Hurleys. We'll get to that real quick, but I need to find this, but I made like a pretty nice because you know how like we like to make spin-offs of popular TV shows. I made one of my own.
Yes. Oh, baby, I'm excited to see this. Oh, first we're gonna go and look at the scores from Saturday. So I have that up. We're gonna take a look around the Big 12. All right. So, oh, sorry, actually that's actually Tuesday's matchups.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yep. So Iowa State uses a really good second half, limits Arizona State to 24 points in the second half, wins that 86-65. Mo Odom, we actually Iowa State did a nice job locking him down because I thought he would have, because he was the
Hmm.
guy that I was looking to be like, okay, this guy could give us problems, but Iowa State did a nice job locking him down. And then Tamin Lipsey on senior day, 16 points, 6 assists, and 6 steals. And I mean, it's the most Tamin Lipsey thing to do for your last play on the floor to get a steal and an easy layup. I mean, that's just patented Tamin Lipsey.
It is. What a fitting way to end his career at Hilton. Really, really gonna miss him seeing him at Hilton.
Yeah, I mean, what they did for the students too is like they gave out headbands for like the students section.
Yeah, and I mean, I one thing I was thinking about, and I'm pretty sure somebody has already thought of this, is maybe starting like a GoFundMe to have the presidents travel during the tournament. I think that was the coolest
Yeah,
thing.
I think I saw that earlier. Blake the Kid impersonator, he put that on his Twitter. Yeah, so they're doing that. Like what happened, I think similarly to last year when they went down to Kansas City.
Yeah, one into Kansas City, and then also I think they went to Milwaukee
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, and I think we can also talk about Kansas City later. We can get to seating and all that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but
yeah.
we continue Saturday. Arizona able to eke out a win against Colorado, 89-79. I mean, Colorado was in the lead for a bit in this game, but Arizona, off the back of Braden Burries, excuse me, with 31 points, able to win that game in Boulder. But I mean, Isaiah Johnson, 28 points. So if he's looking for a new home to get out of Boulder, Colorado, Ames, Iowa is right here. I mean, he got to experience what it's like to uh, win this to experience Hilton Magic. So I would probably just throw a bone out there for him potentially.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely it's Porter when I was like it was Porterling in the off season. That definitely be a guy I'd watch out for. Houston escapes as they were trailing a bit in this game and Stillwater 82-75 over Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I was watching this game a little bit while I was waiting to get into the Iowa State game. Yeah, Oklahoma State where they gave Houston some difficulties, but I mean, Houston's just gonna do Houston things at the end of the day. Like Houston's the more talented team over Oklahoma State. I mean, Oklahoma State has been a feisty team at times, but they just fell off towards the end of the year after that BYU win. They just kind of fell off the radar.
Yeah, they did. I mean they like um yeah, they struggled and limped to the finish, man. So unfortunately, I think that this might they might be taking a look at Steve Lutz, and I don't know if he's going to return, but who knows? I wonder if they're going to give him another one more year.
I would think so. They might give him another year because like 6-12, like it's not great, but it's like you give him another shot or something. Because I don't know, because it's not like they fell off completely. They have some decent wins and they did compete with Houston. It's just of like, can they do it again next year, or will we see more of the same?
And honestly, you look at some of the results. They had some results that got away from them. So I look if you or maybe if you're able to switch a few of those into wins, then maybe you look at the season a lot different.
Yep. I mean, we go from one top 10 road team of the Big 12 to another. BYU ends off what was a pretty, I guess, disappointing year to their standards with a nice win over another top 10 team in Texas Tech, 82-76. Rob Wright, the third, 27 points and 6 rebounds, and I mean BYU, they were able to keep up with Texas Tech's hot shooting from three.
Yeah, I think the you got to match their intensity. I think offensively, um, obviously, with because of that result, Kansas is now moved up to the three spot, and they switched spots. So now, as we thought that Iowa State was going to be facing a possible matchup, they have a chance to rematch Texas Tech in the Big 12 tournament. But obviously, we'll be talking about that later. Um, so a big win for BYU as they finished 500 in the Big 12. The next one, Sunflower Showdown, Kansas with an offensive output of over 100 points as they win by 19 over K State. Darren Peterson, the big point man, with 27 points for KU.
Yeah, and I believe, I mean, a disaster year for Kansas State finally ends, and I believe, I this was some stat I heard too. Like, three teams have scored 100 in conference against Kansas State. Kansas, Texas Tech, and Arizona are the three teams. And I could throw in
Um,
Iowa State too because we scored 95 on them. So, but
that's just about yeah.
I mean, if you're letting three conference opponents put up 100 on you, you've got major issues going on here.
Yeah, it's not good, man. It's not good at all. I don't know where they're gonna go for coach wise, but it should be interesting.
Fran McCaffrey.
Oh God, that would be the fun. That would be so funny.
Yeah. And then we actually had a game kind of for like the bubble, like for the bubble Cincinnati TCU. TCU off the heels of a impressive road win in Lubbock, able to take care of Cincinnati 73-63. I think this should firmly put TCU into the tournament because if you think about what their resume they've had some really impressive wins. against what is now a top 10 Florida team, a top 10 Iowa State team, a top 10 and top 10 Texas Tech, and also a win over Wisconsin, who Wisconsin their own has had some impressive wins. So TCU's put themselves in put a pretty nice resume together.
Yeah, they sure have. So really, really interested to see how this goes. I'm right, and as we talk more about as you bring up TCU, let's just talk about um the possibilities of what can happen in the Big 12 tournament.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Let me take let's make sure we don't have any more Big 12 games. We might have missed a couple somewhere along the line. These ones are not really notable. Baylor puts up 100 over Utah. West Virginia beat UCF on Friday. So outside of that, so nothing more notable. But yeah, we can go take a look at the tournament bracket as that has been set.
Yes, I'm trying to find picture of
Yeah,
the bracket.
yeah, yeah. While you take a look at that, I could just show you guys what I was talking about. So I was talking about like the bad day for the Hurleys. Yeah, let's just say you might be seeing this on your TV screen anytime soon because I'm introducing a brand new drama exclusive to TNT.
Oh boy.
So premiering in the off season, here the TNT exclusive coming to you live on your TV screens. Keeping up with the Hurleys. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're introducing a brand new TV show after what going on Saturday because we mentioned Bobby Hurley getting teed up, but they also showed around the same time that Bobby Hurley got teed up. There was a Dan Hurley gets ejected from the game against Marquette.
Oh, I love this.
And this is a great work from like Ryan Hammer tweeted this, but this is great work by Fox to just put this side by side.
That is elite video work. Props to whoever did that.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, what a day for the Hurleys.
Yeah, it was a spectacular day for the Hurleys, and good news. I was able to find the
Find the Big 12 tournament bracket.
yes, on the Field tournament bracket. So
Yeah,
I'm going to share my screen, and then we will talk about that.
yeah. So you mentioned that you're going down to Kansas City.
Yes, me, Cole, and another friend of mine. We're all going down there. Our friend Wasabi. So we're all going down there. I'm driving out to Oskaloosa tomorrow. And then we're going down Wednesday morning. Drop our stuff off at the hotel, and then head to the hotel or head to the stadium.
Yeah. Yep. So if you're watching this on YouTube or on Twitter, if you're seeing the stream, Tuesday. So the Big 12 tournament starts tomorrow with your first round matchups. It is number 12 seeded Arizona State taking on number 13 seed Baylor. That will be at 11:30 Central. The second game will be number 9 seeded Cincinnati against number 16 seed Utah. Number 10 seeded BYU taking on number 15 seed Kansas State. And in the nightcap, number 11 seeded Colorado taking on number 14 seeded Oklahoma State. So the winners for these will go on to face the teams on Wednesday who got the single bye. So the winner of Baylor Arizona State will take on the number 5 seeded your Iowa State Cyclones. That will be the first game of the morning at 11:30. The winner of Utah Cincinnati will take on the number 8 seed UCF. BYU Kansas State, the winner of that game will take on West Virginia, who's the 7th seed. And then the winner of Oklahoma State and Colorado will take on the 6th seeded TCU. And then we head to the double teams with the double buys. The winner of the TCU versus Colorado Oklahoma State game will take on Kansas, who's the 3 seed. The winner of West Virginia versus BYU or Kansas State. The winner of that game will take on Houston. Arizona, the number 1 seed in the Big 12 tournament, will take on the winner of UCF, Cincinnati, or Utah. So take on one of those 3 teams. And then finally, Texas Tech, the number 4 seed, will take on either Iowa State, Arizona State, or Baylor.
All right. Thank you for that, Cody. I think so. I guess the first question I should ask is looking at this bracket, Out of the seeds, probably I'll say from 11 to 16. Which one of these teams, like, do you think from that position could possibly make a run to the title game?
I mean, a deep run. I could maybe go Baylor, honestly. Maybe because
I think Baylor's athleticism could give Iowa State some trouble. Um, Obviously they we've played tight games with them both times this season, and one at Waco and one at Hilton.
yeah, and I mean that would be what the third time Iowa State faced Baylor.
Yeah,
So at some point Scott Drew is going to get his, but I mean that would probably be the one thing I could see. I mean, outside of that, I'm not seeing anything too impressive out of like that first round that could get me. I would say Cincinnati will probably be the team to look out for it in the first round.
yeah. Cincinnati has shot makers, and Mustafa Cham has gone off. So I mean, they could definitely give them. I mean, obviously, a team that hasn't been and not 11 to 16. I mean, look at you see the possibility of UCF shot making. Like they did give Arizona a run for their money in at McHale earlier this year. So you could watch for UCF maybe be in that Friday game. Who knows?
Yeah, and I can say the same thing about TCU actually, because I mean they led Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse for a time before that game went to overtime. So, and with how up and down Kansas has been throughout the year, TCU could catch them on a bad night and like find themselves in the semifinals.
Honestly, I'm gonna call my shot. I think TCU upsets Kansas, dude.
Yeah,
I see the vision. I think they're gonna upset Kansas. Like Kansas this year has sort of been like have has left a lot more to be desired. And I could be totally wrong, and Kansas could just make a run to the title game. But I just don't know if they're gonna outlast Houston. And TCU has been playing well for like the last month or so. Like so, I just think TCU has the horses to make it to Saturday's championship game. Probably will end against Houston, but I do think they're going to win there. Do think they're going to beat Kansas though.
yeah. So I mean, looking at the outlook for a lot of these teams, where do you see like Iowa State? Because if we're talking like NCAA seeding wise, Iowa State would probably like they're safely a 3, but do you think they could move up to a 2 with like a couple wins in Kansas City?
I Yes, oh yeah, for sure. So here's how I look at it. Iowa State, I think will win at least the first game. If we can go and beat Tech again, I do. Obviously, it's going to depend on Tech's shot making. I do think though that they'll cool off, and Iowa State's going to have a lot. Tech brings a decent amount of fans, but it's going to be Hilton South down there on Thursday. Especially, there's going to be a whole bunch of Iowa State fans there at 11:30 a.m. So if you go and win those two, and then you go into Friday at 6, I truly do think with Arizona being far away from home, and Iowa State even though this will be a neutral site game, if you're able to beat a top ranked Arizona, the number one seed Arizona, like I think that has to cement you as a 2 seed. I mean, even if you beat Texas Tech, I think that could bump you up to a 2 seed.
Yeah, I think for me, I'd just love to see like kind of at least 2 wins, at least 2 wins for them would be my ideal situation.
Yeah, ideally, I'd love to be in Kansas City until Saturday. But if I can be there till Sunday, that'd be great. If we win the whole thing, I actually, honestly, I do. This may be the homer in me. I actually do think that Iowa State brings back the conference tournament title to where it belongs. Like I
Yeah,
just, it's been what 2 years already.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. Because our last conference title was when Iowa State thumped the number 1 seed. I think what was it, the top two Houston by like 30.
Yeah, we beat them by 30. That was an insane game.
Yeah. I mean, the cherry on top was that Hassan Ward and one poster. That was a,
Oh
but
man, that
but I
was
mean that,
disgusting.
and then the Milan like fake, it's spin off, and then the fade. Like, what was it, a three or whatever?
Yeah, that fadeaway three. Oh,
Yeah, we
beautiful.
knew, like, that was when everybody knew we had something special. Like, if we didn't, they
Yeah,
didn't know already. Now they knew.
yeah, and the crazy thing is that in that one we had that was the year we made to the Sweet 16, of course. So I think I mean depending on what happens, we're gonna need help probably, depending on what Nebraska does. But I
Yeah,
do think with that I think there's a probably a good chance because I know listening to um Williams and Bloom, or I'll say Brendan Bloom. Um, Basically, with the lack of charter flights, there's probably a good chance that Iowa State is going to be pretty close, which means that there's a good chance that Iowa State will probably be playing in St. Louis.
yeah. And then, I mean, we could take a look. Like, we could talk a little bit about bracketology real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the seed list. This is from, once again, 8-1 bracketology. One of my favorite like bracketologists to look at. So he's got projects Iowa State as a three.
Mm-hmm.
That I think funnily enough, has us in the East region.
Interesting.
Yeah. So for this, yeah. Well, actually, this is just the seed list, actually. So not the full bracketology, but um, you look at the one line. That's, I mean, what about what I expected? Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Florida moving up to the one line. Houston, Yukon, Michigan State, Illinois as the two. Nebraska, Iowa State, Purdue, and Gonzaga at the three, and then Alabama, Kansas, Texas Tech, and Virginia at the four line. Other Big 12 teams that you see that are on here are BYU as a six seed. You have TCU as an eight seed, which, I mean, that's where it's kind of been
Mm-hmm.
for the best. UCF is in the field at a 10 seed, so I kind of like that spot for them.
I
And
do too,
then,
actually.
and then I think that's about it for Big 12. No Cincinnati. Yeah,
Yeah, I unfortunately with that bad loss to Eastern Michigan. They had some pretty bad non-con losses. Like that Eastern Michigan one was brutal. I don't
yeah.
think that unless they win the entire thing and make a run, I don't think they're gonna make the tournament. Unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, and then I mean the big kind of the mover that we talked about instantly was UConn moving down the two line, and I mean that could kind of lead us to what went on nationally, because we there were some things that there were some things here at the end of the regular season that kind of helped out some at seed lines, but had some surprising results.
All right, yeah. If you want to share your screen, we can go and recap it.
Yeah, for sure. So Saturday, this was a pretty jammed packed like basketball slate. And
Yeah.
this was a really fun one. Number one Duke. We start off there. They take care of business. This is North Carolina, but they were without Caleb Wilson, so that's kind of a grain of salt you have to take with this. But still, Duke cements themselves as basically I would probably put them as the number one overall seed
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah,
a
they're number one for sure.
yeah. Cameron Boozer with 26 points and 15 rebounds. So a pretty dominant day for him. But yeah, this was the result we were talking about, that majorly ahead of major stakes. Number 4, UConn goes down to Marquette in at the Pfizer Forum.
Yeah, this was an ugly game for UConn. You've seen this basically this entire year. This one is just as ugly as the one they dropped at home to what was it, Creighton earlier this year, who was not
Yep.
good at all.
Yep.
I mean they and with that, St. John's won the Big East by one game, so congrats to the Red Storm. But just like I mean, you've seen it, man. UConn has been been surviving by the skin of their teeth. They survived by a few points to an average Providence team who was up by a lot in that game. So yeah, UConn is not looking good going into the tournament.
Yeah. I mean, that's one team like in the top 5 that's not looking good. But you know who is looking good? The Florida Gators.
Oh baby, yeah. I saw in Joe Lenardi's final bracketology that they are going to be the final number one seed, which I could totally see with them and Houston pairing up in the South as the one and the two, which would be a great Elite Eight matchup. But yeah, Florida, like I said, Florida is rolling at the right time, and the Gators will probably end up getting that last number one.
Yeah, I think I would put them there. Um, yeah, I already mentioned Iowa State and Houston both picking up wins respectively to end their year. Let's see here. I'm sorry.
Looks like St. Louis
Yeah,
also dropped a game too.
yeah. Virginia takes care of business. They survive against Virginia Tech. Wisconsin goes on the road to Mackey Arena and hands Purdue another loss in their building, 97 to
Man, like
93.
can any team just come into Mackey and win? I thought Mackey was supposed to be this atmosphere that everyone feared.
Allegedly, allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah. I'm
The,
not gonna lie, bro. Wisconsin is gonna be one of those teams that I can see make an Elite Eight run. Like they right
yeah,
now, they are firing on all cylinders. So watch out for Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think for when I look at Wisconsin, what they did in this game, they shot 18 of 34 from three. They hit 12
Wow.
threes in the first half. And I mean, yeah, John Blackwell, Nick Boyd, they've got that thing rolling in Madison. So look out for them. I think we mentioned it earlier. They were what, a three or like they were in the tournament. This could be a dangerous team in the tournament if they get the right
Yeah.
draw.
If they have the right draw, yeah, for
Yep.
sure. I do not want to see them in my
Yep.
bracket.
Alabama takes care of Auburn, 96 to 84. But this isn't even the main story with Auburn. We need to real quick. We gotta stop. Like, there's no conceivable way that Stephen Pearl would believe that his team at 16 and 15 overall, 7 and 11 in SEC play is an NCAA tournament team. Listen, I know you had a very difficult schedule and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you have to win a couple of those games to really be considered. You can't just play a bunch of these like big quality opponents and lose all of them because
Oh, we beat his reasoning, Cody. Oh, we beat Florida. Okay. Other teams beat Florida too. That's your only good one of the season, dude. There's no like I swear they better not. The fact that it's crazy where we are in college basketball, bro. Because the fact that Miami might be in the bubble at 31-0, and you're gonna tell me that you're gonna put a friggin' 16 and 15 Auburn team in over them? Give me a break, dude.
I would have rather put Cincinnati into that than
Dude,
Auburn.
there's so many other deserving teams. Cincinnati beat Iowa State at home. They
Mhm.
won at the Fog, which is hard to do by
By double digits.
16.
They put the style points onto them.
It's crazy to me,
Yeah, it's
man.
ridiculous. Yeah. And then Louisville beats number 22 ranked Miami. Arkansas gets a win in overtime at Mizzou. Vanderbilt beats Tennessee. And then George Mason just dominates St. Louis by 30 points, 86 to 57.
Are you worried about St. Louis, or is St. Louis solidly in, or do they have to
I
win
think
a big game?
they're soundly in.
Okay,
They're soundly in. I
okay.
think now you this win opens up the A10 to get multiple teams. I think VCU might have, and who knows who else. But like, I mean, this pretty much ensures that the A10 can get multiple teams, and we'll have to see
Hmm.
what happens when it comes to conference tournament times. We'll see what happens because it's
Yeah,
conference tournament week. And real quick, speaking of conference tournaments, we gotta you know what we gotta shout out the Valley. Well, we gotta shout out Arch Madness because this has implications for both myself and Tyler. Northern Iowa beats UIC 84 to 69, and for the first time since 2016, the Northern Iowa Panthers are headed to the NCAA tournament.
man. If you remember back to the 2016 tournament, it was crazy because the church I was going to at one point they had like a March Madness night. I was wearing my funny enough, I was wearing my Beat Iowa shirt, and we were watching that game. And Jefferson hit that three from the half court to beat Texas, which was great. It's always great to see Texas lose. Unfortunately, obviously, you and I fans would remember the next game where they were just minutes away from making it to the Sweet 16, and the Alex Caruso led A&M team uh, led a ferocious comeback to tie it, and then they win it in overtime. But man, this team can shoot, and I know, as we saw with the 801 bracketology, it's it they are going to be a terror to whoever is a 12 seed or
or a
as a
5 seed.
5 or
Yeah.
4 for a 4 seed.
Mm.
I think wherever they're at in your bracket, I would choose that as a 12-5 or 13-4 upset.
Yeah, I would think Northern Iowa is between a like is either a 12 or a 13 seed. I don't see him being a 14 because like he will have thrown out the hypothetical matchup of Iowa State matchup against Northern Iowa, but I don't think Iowa State is going to fall to a 4,
Mm-mm.
and they're probably not going to like they're not going to fall to a 4, so you would rule that out, and then a 3-14. I don't think Northern Iowa would fall to a 14.
Nah.
So I think them being like a 12 seed would probably be 12 or 13 seed would be what would happen. So yeah, Ben Jacobson, he's been there a long time, 20 some years. Um, really, he's been like there for a while, and I mean a lot of other jobs have been calling for it, but it sounds like he's very happy to be at Northern Iowa up in Cedar Falls. So really great for him. So
And another fun fact, Cody, out of the 8 times that they've been there as a program, 4 of the times they've won one tournament game. So
mhm.
look for them if they get the right matchup to go and get it and make it to the round of 32.
Mm-hmm. And then, real quick, we have to mention some other mid majors that are going to the tournament. High Point wins the Big South Championship over Winthrop, 91-76. Queens University, who had just come up the ranks to D1 recently, I Bleav,
Yes,
wins the A Sun over Central Arkansas. And then we gotta shout out LIU. So LIU, well, I mean, by definition, because I Bleav they went up against Monmouth, and Monmouth wasn't eligible to make it to the NCAA tournament because they had just recently moved up. That's that rule or whatever, where
that
you have like the waiting
that
period.
rule is so dumb.
It is dumb, but I mean, LIU they just got mentioned on Ryan Hammer's podcast, Blue Blooded, and they brought up the whole fins up thing, which I thought was pretty cool. So I'm excited to see what they can do.
Definitely, man. And then I believe North Dakota's. I believe they got a bid too from the
Yep.
summit.
North Dakota State wins the Summit League championship over North Dakota. So yeah, they're heading to the tournament. They were listed as a 14 seed by 801 bracketology.
Maybe a team that Iowa State plays in the first round. Who knows?
Perhaps, yeah. And then I think we've got some action tonight. We've got the Sun Belt, so we might as well do a preview now because it's now a conference tournament week. We don't have to really worry about like the
Let's go.
previous
Yeah.
games. Yeah. So Georgia Southern takes on Troy in the final for the Sun Belt. Who do you have for that one?
Uh, what were the teams that you said? Georgia Southern and
Troy.
give me Troy.
Okay, I think I might go there. Furman versus East Tennessee State. That's going
Give,
to be the SoCon.
give me the Paladins. I remember that shot against Virginia. So give me the Paladins in that
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yep. And then I'm also looking here. We got the semifinals for the West Coast Conference. Oregon State taking on Gonzaga, and then it's Santa Clara taking on St. Mary's. So who's advancing there?
Ooh, Santa Clara St. Mary's. What time does that come on? I might have to watch that.
That is 10:30 tonight on ESPN2.
Ooh, I might have to get. Ooh, I might have to watch
Yeah.
that. All right, give me a rematch. It'll be St. Mary's versus Gonzaga.
All right. I see that. So I mean, yeah, and I mean, there's so many mid majors. I don't have the full list of like mid majors, like because I've been seeing those graphics of like all the teams that have qualified for the tournament, and I just lost it, but I was seeing it earlier. But I mean, I am excited for like because it's like mid major. We're in the best part of the year, and
Mm-hmm.
real quick, we skipped over a couple games on Sunday too because there were some games in the Big Ten
Yeah,
that number 3 Michigan takes care of number 8 Michigan State. I don't expect so Michigan surely is a 1 seed in the tournament, so they just confirmed their status.
yeah,
Michigan State, I don't expect them to fall too much.
yeah. Michigan State's basically been solidly what, like a 2 or 3 seed.
Yeah, I think they would have been a 2 because they
Yeah, so I mean, I've seen that in the Midwest region as a possible Sweet 16 matchup for Iowa
yep.
State. So that could probably be a team that I could see. And
Yeah.
obviously, everybody loves to call this Izzo month because,
Mhm.
as you know, Michigan State always makes somehow, even if they had like a lackluster regular season, they always turn it on right before the tournament.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and then also in the Big Ten, Illinois survives at Maryland, 78-72. So Illinois, they're a bit shaky.
Yeah, Illinois is shaky. For some reason, the good thing is that we're still ahead of them in Ken Palm,
Hmm.
so I don't think that the jumpers. The only thing is that like
Yeah,
everybody else loves Illinois.
yeah.
So
Mhm. And then finally, Iowa loses in overtime to number 9 Nebraska, and Nebraska a little shaky. I mean, you knew Nebraska wanted they wanted to get back at Iowa after the loss at Carver Hawkeye earlier in the year.
hmm
So I mean,
I mean, and after that, they gave Fred a extension till 2031, 2032 season. So congrats to Fred Hoiberg.
mhm.
And I mean, just looking at the Hawks real quick. I mean, this is sort of what we expected in the first year. I know Iowa fans are a little bit disappointed. 10-10, 2011 sort of reminds me of uh, TJ Otzelberger's first year. Um, so they're going to be like probably like an 8 or 9 seed, which means they'll draw the number one team depending on what region they're in. They're probably going to get they'll probably be in the East region with either Duke or maybe the West region with Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, T3. I think has him as a 9 seed with you lumped in with Utah State, Texas A&M, and Ohio State. So that's one thing. So they're probably around the 8 to 9 seed range.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, for them, what I guess with them winning a game be successful because what would you if you put yourself in the foot of an Iowa fan? What would you define as success in this first year under Ben McCollum?
I gotta say, winning a game in the NCAA tournament. I mean, if they're saying more than that, then they're absolutely crazy. Like a sane like Hawkeyes fan would probably be like, "Hey, I'll take winning a tournament game." Obviously, you know it's been noted that they haven't won. They haven't made it to a Sweet 16 in like almost
Well, in this
25
century,
years.
yeah, in this
Yeah,
century.
and then turn the century. But obviously, it's gonna build to that. But I think making the tournament in the first year of Ben McCullum is a great sign that Iowa basketball is moving in the right direction.
Yeah. So mentioning coaches, I think I just saw I got to bring this up. This happened a little bit earlier. Iowa State assistant Jared Blunt is expected to be the next head coach for San Diego. So Jared Blunt's heading out west.
Yeah, I mean, it was only a matter of time before he was going to get poached. So it happened to be right now. It happened to be right now. So I'm really, really excited for him. Excited to see who we bring on to this coaching staff.
Yep. And then just some other things here. Uh, the AP released their final top 25, and there are 5 Big 12 teams on this list: Arizona number 2, Houston number 5, Iowa State number 7, Kansas at 14, Texas Tech at 16.
And it's really a word to what TJ Otzelberger did. The fact that Iowa State basically stayed within the top 10 for the entire year is absolutely impressive, and that's something that we would have asked for at the beginning of the season when there was
Yeah.
a
Uh,
lot of uncertainty.
yeah, I believe we started at what? We started at number 16 in the country.
Yeah,
Yeah, got those wins in Vegas over St. John's, Syracuse, and Creighton. And then the one
that
that
Purdue
really
one shot us up, man.
Yeah, the Purdue win really shot us up into the top 10. Had a bit of a fall off there with kind of some losses, but still stayed in the top 10 because I think we had some other things happen around us that were even worse than our losses. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of benefited from that. And then taking a look also at some individual awards within Iowa State. Joshua Jefferson was named to the first team All Big 12. Tamin Lipsey was named to the second team All Big 12. He was named to the All Defensive Team, and he was also named the Scholar Athlete of the Year. And then Milan Momcilovic is named to the second team All Big 12.
Great honors. Really excited for all those guys.
Yep. And then I think I also saw some more awards. Yeah. Yeah. So just bring him in, just racking him in, and then we'll see what this team does coming in March. But I'm excited. This is probably the best month of the year. for sports fans. So,
Yes, and wanted to give everybody a scheduling update. Um, I believe depending on what happens in the tournament, I will be leaving early. So I will give you guys a time and update on either my personal page or the podcast page on the reaction show for the bracket reveal, and then we'll have breakdown from there. So make sure to stay tuned for that, and make sure you look for that on Twitter.
for sure. And then something else here, I guess now that like we can just talk a little bit about coaching real quick, and this is a recent example with Bobby Hurley, the opening of Arizona State. Who do you would be an early predictor outside of what I just jokingly said? Who do you think would be like an actual like a viable fit for ASU?
Hmm, that is actually a very very good question. Um, I gotta think that maybe you look at the head guy at St. Louis. I mean, maybe he's a guy that wants to go move up to another level, but at the same time, maybe he wants to, since St. Louis has a good NIL backing. Maybe that's a guy that wants to stay there and build, and maybe have them become like the next Gonzaga. So
For
I would
sure,
say the
for sure.
St. Louis coach, right now, and that's really the only person that comes to my mind right now. Who do you have in mind?
Yep. And then I mean for sure. And I guess well now that like we're in conference tournament season, if you're looking for a place to keep up with all the conference tournaments, Projection Sports by Tyler Markley is a good place. I'm looking at it right now. I have a bookmark, so I'm trying to keep up with all these tournaments.
Yes, make sure you go to Protection Sports by Tyler Markley to keep up with everything. All right, guys. We are going to end today's show. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. A big thanks to FanDuel. The odds are out right now for the Big 12 tournament. I believe Iowa State is at plus 800 for odds. So go and bet the Cyclones to win in at Hilton South. Also, if you want to find us on Twitter, find Cody on Twitter at actually at TJ's Boot, not Tierney's Burner, at TJ's Boot.
Yeah. It's kind of an updated thing. We'll see what I do. Like I might just talk like match madness, mid majors, and things like that. So this is probably gonna be the time where I'm gonna be pretty active, just trying to keep up with all these like conference tournaments because this is the best time of the year.
For sure. And find me, Tyler, at Side Tie Guy. Right now, we are also in the middle, and this is today. Um, not concluded the first day of NFL free agency. I actually am pretty excited with the Cowboys' moves. They got Jalen Thompson from the Cardinals, and they made a trade with for Rashawn Gary from the Packers. Even though Packers fans are clowning Cowboys fans,
Oh God.
they better hope that Micah Parson trade works out.
Oh God, yeah, NFL free agency is thing, and I mean also apparently I guess I just saw the 49ers we picked up Mike Evans, so I don't know.
A great weapon for Brock Purdy. So I know you're psyched about that.
Yeah, I mean he's been Mr. Consistent at Tampa Bay, so I mean I'll take it any day that we can pair him up with George Kittle. I'm like, you know what? I like this. Maybe just maybe we can hopefully. I'm praying that we just don't get injured again all year long and
Yeah,
just
y'all need to
base.
pray for health, man, because y'all have been decimated by injuries the past 4 years.
It's that damn electromagnetic field right next to the stadium. I'm telling you, it's
Get
that.
rid of that thing, man.
I don't know if we can do that. Maybe we just need to rebuild Candlestick Park.
yeah, that's more what you might need to do. Oh man! All right, and as lastly, make sure to follow us on social media. Where I have 6 different forms: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. All right, guys, we are going to be signing off for Tyler Carter.
And for Cody Van Silem,
This is the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
go Cyclones.